I come to you bearing bad news, and it feels like we have bared a lot of bad news here on the channel over the course of this season. But the news here is that Dereck Lively is injured once again and is expected to miss an extended period of time, according to reports. Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. Jeffrey Cooperstein here. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to everyone watching. Hope everyone is traveling safe and enjoying their holiday season so far. But Dereck Lively going to miss at least the next week with what the Mavericks are calling right foot discomfort. Now, if you remember, he did have surgery on that right foot this offseason and has kind of been dealing with that, along with a little bit of a knee problem. And look, I wish I could say I'm surprised, and he will be reevaluated in the next 7 to 10 days, which does not mean that he'll be back in the next 7 to 10 days. I wish I was surprised, but I'm simply just not. Look, Dereck Lively's already missed 12 games this season for the Mavericks, and after missing almost 60 last year, I believe he played in 36 games. So whatever that math is, don't know off the top of my head. But look, he has just missed way too many games for this team. He is just not available enough. Whenever he plays, he's on a minute restriction. He's not going to play back-to-backs as it is. It's just an unfortunate situation with Lively, and the Mavericks really are going to have to make a decision on him this next offseason, whether or not he's going to be a part of their plans going forward, because you simply just can't rely on the guy. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already at Mavericks Today by Chat Sports, as we are covering all of the latest Mavericks news and rumors, giving you the latest injury news, the latest updates, the latest trade rumors. All of that you can find right here on the channel at youtube.com/MavsTV. Join the almost 33,000 subscribers that have already joined the channel today. Big men games missed this year. Dereck Lively already at 12. Anthony Davis is at 14, and hopefully that number will not go up, at least on Friday, because Davis going to likely play against the Los Angeles Lakers on Black Friday evening, so that'll be exciting to see. Daniel Gafford has missed 6 games so far, so Gafford has been the most healthy of these guys, and it's kind of been the case throughout the course of the last couple of seasons as well, where Gaff has been pretty available for the most part for this Mavericks team. Now, I believe he missed 25 games last year. He ended up playing in just 57, but that was his first real extended absence of his career. So he has been a guy who has stayed healthy, and I expect that to hopefully remain the case throughout the course of the season, because if you're relying on him, it's a dangerous thing, because behind him, it's Moussa Cisse and Dwight Powell. Look, I'm no doctor. I did not go to medical school. I graduated from North Texas. Shout out to Mean Green. Still in shambles over Eric Morris leaving for Oklahoma State, is what it is. But I'm not a doctor. Something has to be wrong with this Mavericks medical and training staff and the way they are handling these injuries and these big men. Dereck Lively simply can't stay on the floor. If you remember last season, they had that whole debacle with the medical team, disagreed on how his rehab was going, and they basically almost let him come back with a stress fracture in his foot. And the Mavericks medical staff just extremely misdiagnosed it, and they did not handle it correctly at all. There is just something going on here with D-Live and with the other long-term injuries on this staff, the Dante Exum thing. Like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to fix it, but something is just awry, because there's just too many man games that are being missed by all these big men and by some guards for that matter as well. And the case with Lively is, and I've said this over time, your best ability is availability. Can't talk today. I'm thinking about Thanksgiving food. But the Mavericks big men just don't have it. Outside of Gafford, who, again, missed 25 games last year, but that was his first real extended absence, the Mavericks big men do not have availability as part of their arsenal. It is something that you are just going to have to deal with for the next couple of seasons, because Anthony Davis is under contract for the next 2.5 years. Dereck Lively currently on his rookie deal. But there is no way, shape, or form that this thing can continue, because you simply will not win games when you have to play Moussa Cisse, Dwight Powell, and PJ Washington at center. It just simply will not happen. What is your concern level on the Mavericks injuries, though? Scale it 1 to 10 down in the comment section. Mine's pretty damn high. I mean, it's at I'll almost go say a 9.2. It is extremely, extremely alarming that these guys, no matter what they do, cannot stay on the court. AD return on Friday night. Over or under, Lopez, I'll ask you as well. Over under 5 games before AD's hurt again? Lopez says the over. Lopez thinks he's going to stay healthy. I think I'm taking the under. I think AD will show up on the injury report under 5 games when he comes back. He's going to play Friday, allegedly, and we'll discuss that here in just a moment. But one guy who does need to step up is Moussa Cisse, who, to be fair, I think has played pretty damn well for the Mavericks this season in his limited action. He's on a 2-way contract out of Memphis. He was an undrafted free agent, was in the Mavericks Summer League, and they decided to give him that final 2-way spot. And I do like how Cisse has played. 3.3 points, 3.6 boards, over a block a night as well in his limited action with the Mavericks. And I think at some point throughout the course of this season, the Mavericks are going to have to make Cisse a full-time roster spot because he's going to run out of those 50 games to play. Like, whatever the Mavericks do at the deadline, it should be to open a roster spot to bring in Cisse on a permanent roster spot basis because they're just going to need his body. They're going to need his warm body minutes at center later in the season when, again, Dereck Lively will be hurt, and chances are Anthony Davis will be hurt as well. But this much I do know about Dereck Lively. You cannot give him a multi-year extension this summer. You cannot commit tens of millions of dollars to a guy who does not stay on the court. I just simply don't know how the Mavericks are going to operate, knowing that he is going to miss 35 games a year. You just can't pay a guy $10+ million a season doing that. And I really don't envy the Mavericks spot in this because he is extension eligible this summer. And the Mavericks do have a new GM coming in, whoever that may be. So they're going to have to figure out what to do with Dereck Lively, because I do think that's going to be at or near the top of the list of biggest problems that this Mavericks GM is going to face in their early in their tenure, trying to rebuild this roster, trying to retool this roster into a potential playoff contender. Until he proves he can be healthy, you just can't pay him. I think that's what it is at the end of the day, and it's unfortunate because I really do like D-Live. He was a big part of a reason why the Mavericks made the finals in the 23-24 season. But, man, he just doesn't play, and if you don't play, you can't get paid, and I think it's that easy. We'll discuss the rest of today's show here in just a moment, but before we do, today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks. The holiday season is here, and get started with PrizePicks today. It's the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It is all happening at once, and while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, what game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right, and that is PrizePicks. A new feature alert just dropped on PrizePicks as well. PrizePicks now has early payouts. Even if your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Another new feature I like is they offer stacks, meaning you can put the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup, only on PrizePicks. I do have a football lineup for you guys, a Thanksgiving football lineup, that is. I'll take the more on Jared Goff passing yards in the first game. Give me the more on Patrick Mahomes pass yards in the second game. And in the third game, I'm going to take the less on Joe Burrow passing yards. You can copy my picks or make picks of your own. Just please make sure you do it with our friends over at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, that is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That link will be in the comments and description of today's show. PrizePicks. It is good to be right. The Anthony Davis return is nearing as he is expected to be at practice today. The Mavericks are practicing over at their facility right now, and AD should be participating in anticipation of a return to action on Friday against the Los Angeles Lakers. The Mavericks will fly out tomorrow evening to Los Angeles to take on the Lakers in the Bay Area. And, man, it's going to be an interesting thing to see Anthony Davis. Of course he returns against the damn Lakers. The whole thing just pisses me off, but he'll be back in action on Friday. Dereck Lively will be out, and we'll see. Look, AD sucked in the last matchup against Luka and the Lakers in April in Luka's return to the AAC. Davis had like 12 points or something like that. He was pretty invisible for the most part, but hopefully he can put together a good game here, as he didn't play in the first game back in LA last year in February because he was out. Hopefully he can put together a good return. I think he got his tribute video already last time, so that one's out of the way. So strictly basketball on Friday for Mr. AD, and we'll see what happens. And, of course, we'll have you covered during that game, but we are in a sub-battle with the Lakers report. We are killing them right now. The Lakers might kill us on the court, but we are going to kill them off the court. Hit that subscribe button one more time at youtube.com/MavTV. We cannot let the Lakers embarrass us in this sub-battle. That much I can tell you. I would be very scared about what's going to happen to the Mavericks on Friday. I know the Mavericks are trying to lose games at this point, but you always want to beat the Lakers because you would like to beat Luka. He's going to drop a 50 burger on the Mavericks on Friday. Like, whatever his more or less is on Prize Picks, I will be placing U.S. currency on the more because, oh boy, it's looking scary hours for him. He is really turning it on for the Lakers right now. Last game against the Clippers last night, 10 p.m. tip-off. That thing is an absolute joke, by the way, on Peacock. It's ridiculous. Nonetheless, 43, 9, and 13, 7 of 12 from 3, 14 of 28 from the field. And if the three-pointers fall for Luka, it's just all over. We all know that the three-pointer is kind of the last thing to come when Luka is either coming into a season or returning from an injury. So it's now beginning to fall for him at a somewhat consistent basis. Now, there were a couple of shots that he took yesterday that it was just like, what are you doing? And we all know that Luka loves to take those shots just because he feels like he can make them. And you know what? Sometimes he can. So who are we to fault him? But I think he's going to want to absolutely kill the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. You know he is the biggest. Look, I think I'm the second biggest Nico Harrison hater in the world. He is number one. Luka absolutely hates Nico, and now that he's fired, I think he's really going to want to turn up the heat. He's going to want to show him that he's obviously wrong, even though we already know that already. And it's going to be a bloodbath for the Mavericks against the Lakers on Friday night. Look, I'll enjoy watching Luka cook, as I always do. Full disclosure, I watch pretty much almost every Lakers game when he's playing just because I enjoy watching him play that much. But he's going to do it against the Mavericks on Friday, which will not be as enjoyable, but hopefully my Longhorns can beat Texas A&M prior to that game starting, and I can at least enjoy that Mavs game without having a care in the world. Are you looking forward to the game on Friday, though? Are you looking forward to seeing Luka and the Lakers against the Mavericks? Lopez is nodding his head as he is a fan of the purple and gold. He loves Nico Harrison, by the way. He wants to build him a statue. Build him a statue outside crypto. Y for yes and for no. Are you looking forward to the game on Friday? That will do it for today's show. Appreciate everyone for tuning into the show. As always, have a very safe, happy holiday season. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and we will be back soon with another episode of Mavericks Today. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys soon.